In this tech hearing that took place in the Senate Judiciary Committee, chaired by Lindsey Graham, of course, the senator from South Carolina, and Jack Dorsey of Twitter and Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook were the witnesses. I want to bring in Jason Rantz. He's host of the Jason Rantz Show on KTTH Radio in Seattle. You watched the entire thing with me. I'm trying to figure out the big headline to me is that obviously the senators are still frustrated. We've seen this before. We've seen it repeatedly throughout this year. Dorsey and Zuckerberg both said that they support change to Section 230, which basically is the paragraph that was written into the 1996 Telecommunications Act, that allowed for these platforms to thrive without threat of litigation. Let's get your thoughts on what just transpired.
Yeah, I mean, the takeaway is both sides want to do something. The question is, what do they actually want to do? And that really depends on who's going to have the power in the Senate. And that's why all eyes right now probably should, again, be on Georgia. Democrats generally are concerned with the censoring, or if I'm being generous, not amplifying certain content. They focused a lot of their time and attention on militia violence, although not Antifa violence and organizing. The GOP, for the most part, they want assurances of content-neutral policies so that conservative content is not being censored. I think what we saw across the board is everyone is angry. And I do think that at some point there is going to be some bipartisan support on maybe some smaller things. Section 230 doesn't exist in a bubble. It exists in a world in which it doesn't just impact social media. It's going to impact websites that have message boards and comment sections. So anything that they do is going to have to be tailor-made either specifically to social media, or it's going to have some significant implications.
Well, it's interesting because these are, as Lindsey Graham, the senator from South Carolina, was just saying, these are American companies, and that he said, we want to work on this collaboratively. We want this to this tech sector to continue to thrive. The thing about Section 230 is that, new entrants to the market, this is also part of this issue, right? Because Facebook and Twitter are so big. Mm-hmm. If you want to be a new entrant into the market, Section 230 protects you as well. What's interesting is you could have the Republicans and the Democrats coming to the same conclusion, but for very different reasons. And of course, it all does hinge on Georgia. The other thing is, Jack Dorsey of Twitter said that they did make a mistake in the censoring of the New York Post when it came to the Hunter Biden story. Your thoughts there?
Yeah, they made a mistake at a time in which it was very crucial to the campaign, or at least the Trump campaign thought it was crucial to highlight that particular story and make sure it gets out there. And so, Ted Cruz made the point, Senator Cruz, Senator Lee made the point as well, that a lot of the quote unquote mistakes happened. They sort of disproportionately impact the conservative side. I haven't really heard a lot of mistakes happening on the left, at least not in major ways. Now, you could argue that part of the reason that is because maybe the right is doing some quote-unquote fake news. There's also the allegations, of course, that the president is really active on Twitter, and so maybe because he's just flooding the zone with content that maybe he gets hit a little bit more than others. I think at the end of the day, social media knew, big tech knew that the Senate was looking into this and were concerned, and they made the choice to get involved in censoring content or flagging certain content based on its speech. I mean, when you go after the New York Post or any media organization, you are becoming a publisher. The
other thing is that, there's some chatter that, Google wasn't here, YouTube didn't have to testify today. Maybe they'll be back, but of course, this issue is not done. Jason Rantz, thanks for listening to all of that with us.